coming to you live from the MediaPlex in downtown Windsor. This is a presentation of St. Clair College Journalism.
Good evening. I am Rawat Qansoon and you are watching MediaPlex News now. Let's join Constable Sarah Werstein from Crime Stoppers with this week's updates.
The Windsor Police Service is seeking the public's help to identify a suspect involved in a robbery at a bank in the 100 block of Olette Avenue on November 2nd at approximately 5:30 p.m. The suspect is described as a white female, 40 to 50 years old, approximately 5'3", with a medium build and medium length red or brown hair. She was last seen wearing a black Adidas shoes, a jacket with white stripes, black pants, and black sunglasses. She was also carrying a black satchel. Photographs of the suspect are up on our Facebook and Twitter. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Windsor Police Service Major Crime Unit, or should you wish to remain anonymous, call Crime Stoppers at 519-258-TIPS or leave a tip online at catchcrooks.com. I'm Police Coordinator Sarah Werstein.
Let's head outside where Zachary Balog is standing by with a look at our current weather conditions. Zach, what do we need to know?
I think the real question, Rawad, is how long do I have before the sun sets? Currently, it is a beautiful evening here in downtown Windsor. It is 10 degrees. And are we going to stay like this, or are we going to warm up? I'll tell you in your 3-day forecast coming up a little later on in the show. Back to you.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford spoke to the media regarding the education union negotiations. Tyler Tarnowski reports.
Most Ontario school boards shut down their classrooms on Friday. This came after the Canadian Union of Public Employees, or CUPE, served the Ontario government with a strike notice last week. CUPE workers following through with the strike even after the province passed the Keeping Students in Class Act last week, invoking the notwithstanding clause to prevent one. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau spoke to Ontario's Premier Doug Ford on the decision last week, telling him the preemptive use of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms notwithstanding clause is wrong and inappropriate, saying it should only be used in extreme circumstances.
As I've said, it is a very, very serious thing to suspend people's fundamental rights and freedoms. The proactive use of the notwithstanding clause is actually an attack on people's fundamental rights, and in this case is an attack on one of the most basic rights available, that of collective bargaining.
Nearly a week after Trudeau and him first spoke, Ford announced his government would repeal the clause only if CUPE and its members stopped their strike and let schools return to their classrooms. On Monday, CUPE announced they would repeal their strike and continue to speak with the Ford government to come up with a contract that both parties agree on.
I'm so relieved that CUPE accepted our offer, that they showed the same willingness to compromise. Because today, kids are back in class, exactly where they belong.
Laura Walton, president of CUPE's Ontario School Board Council of Unions, said Monday that this is just the beginning, saying that CUPE has not spent their leverage yet. Negotiations for a contract are still underway. For MediaPlex News, I'm Kayla Tarnowski.
Visiting the closing night of the Windsor International Film Festival, Manavi Shetty learned about experiences of those involved.
After 177 films, 24 short films, and 311 screenings, the Windsor International Film Festival comes to an end. More than 44,000 people came to WIFF and enjoyed various movies, documentaries, and local short films across the world. But along this journey, not only audience, but the volunteers also had a great experience.
I've loved it. I remember coming when I was in grade school or high school and watching the films, and I always loved coming. So then volunteering has been super fun. I've met so many people, other volunteers who are super passionate about this, or some people who are on the board, as well as just patrons have been super awesome. So I've loved it the entire time.
Well, WIFF is a community-based festival, and it's lovely to see it. And what I notice mostly is with The Windsor content, we had most of the patrons, most of the audience coming into those. It's a beautiful experience overall.
To promote Canadian films and filmmakers, we've kept the annual cash of $25,000. And the winner was Rice Boy Sleeps, directed by Anthony Shim. Along with that, they held the People Choice Award, and the winner was Woman Talking, directed by Sarah Pauli. I am Manvi Shetty from MediaPlex News.
Mackenzie Adams hit the streets to find out what students think of changes to OSAP.
Honestly, I think that it's really amazing because after I graduate here, I can focus on my career and focus on my job, and I don't have to worry about paying back anything.
I can now focus on getting a job rather than trying to make those payments back right away, so I feel like that's really helped me do that.
A lot of us, when we first go out into the workforce, we're not going to be making over 40, 50,000 right away. I feel like a lot of us are still going to be making and entering entry-level jobs. So with that being said, I think that this is just an overall positive thing, waiting until you make at least 40,000. The lower income families, I think it'll take a lot of stress off of them.
Who lets the dogs out? Dale Kabukin knows and tells us more.
November 5, Saturday, is not a typical day for these dogs to be at Lance Peary Park. These cute pals are here to participate in Bark in the Park, an event part of Shine the Light on Women Abuse campaign that raised awareness on violence against women. On this particular day, these dogs bring awareness about how women abuse and domestic violence impact our furry friends.
So one of the things that we're doing at this event is helping to provide information about what are your options if you are in this kind of a situation, and what can you do to ensure that both you and your pet are safe.
The event included a pet food drive, body paints, some shops, among others. Go to hiatushouse.com to be part of the month-long awareness campaign on Women Abuse Prevention Month. For MediaPlex News, I'm Dale Kabukin.
Heritage Village is very popular for school trips, and so I went out there to find out why. The largest vehicle museum in Ontario, dating back to the early 1800s, a fine collection of classic, antique and vintage vehicles, including everything from motorcycles to race cars and roadsters. The museum designed last week the Technology and Learning Expo, exploring the past, looking to the future.
So we have an incredible collection of things that we often don't get to share with the public. We were looking for a new way to do that, and we decided that this would be a great event. Hopefully it will become an annual event. So today we're just kind of testing the waters. We had school groups here on Thursday and Friday, and today it's open to the public.
The event retrieved back great inventors from the past in a unique way, so visitors will get in touch directly with the figures.
We've got a wonderful cast of actors here who are representing different inventors. They're walking around with name tags, and you can ask them what they invented to learn more about that. Yeah, so there's lots of different things going on today, and we just want to give people a really good example of what technology was like in the past and where it's heading and where it is in the present.
Actors prepared and researched well to cover all the information of the character they play, to be ready for any question from the audience. Emily Adjan, presenting the inventor of the first computer, Ada Laval.
So I was given the character I needed to play, and it was really interesting to learn about her, learn how the first computer was made, and just see a famous woman who had helped with such a thing. Because I'm sure that wasn't very popular back in the day for a woman to do something. So I did a lot of research, figuring out what it was she did, how she helped, how she even managed to get to that point.
The museum is playing a perfect role in educating the new generation and shedding the light on the great history that put humanity on the road of progress and development.
But mostly we host grades 1 through 8 and high school students. We've got multiple different programs that we gear towards the curriculum needs of each grade. Our most popular program is our Pioneer for a Day program, and that targets our grade 3 students who are just starting to learn about Canadian history in their social studies classes.
Visitors enjoyed the collection showed in the museum with their kids and get to know more about each car presented in the showroom.
The cars are all very, very impressive. I think it's great that we get to show future generations just how the technology has evolved over the years.
The Canadian Transportation Museum and Heritage Village is lighting back the history. This land witnessed the dawn of the huge development and technology that we have now. For MediaPlex News, I am Rawat Thompson.
A tasty competition was recently hosted at the Fogular Forlan Club in Windsor. Soha Asfahani reports.
Nada Ayad is one of the most popular chefs in Ontario, specializing in Middle Eastern and North African cuisines. She was a diplomat in Libya, but when she moved to Ontario, she started making food.
I have a business first, name it Nida's Fine Food. They know me as organizer of most of the festival event go around the town.
Ayad confirms Munch Africa chose her to be one of the competitive chefs since she's a member of the Arab community in Windsor and caters many events.
I'm very proud to be one of the African women as I present Libya.
Fusainat Brahima is the CEO and founder of Kingro Agri-Foods as well as the director of Munch Africa. For the past 25 years, she has been a key supplier of cultured African Caribbean groceries in the Windsor-Essex area.
The reason why we are here today is for the chefs. We have 7 chefs that are competing. Each chef has a full meal that people are going to come and taste the meal.
Brahima announced that people who taste the food can vote for the best chef or food that they like.
If they win, we get to commercialize that food.
Voters speaking loud and clear. Nada Ayad crowned the winner of Munch Africa. I'm Soha Asfahani for MediaPlex News.
Want to learn some new skills? Gibson Gallery might be the ticket. Mehak Nahar reports.
The Gibson Gallery is a charitable non-profit organization that is free to the public and entirely run and maintained by a volunteer board of directors and gallery members. Sandra Ellis teaches interior design at St. Clair College as well as at Gallery.
I love being in the classroom. They give me energy. I love it when a light goes on, when they're drawing something difficult in a technical perspective and they finally get it and they're excited that they've got it.
Abbotsford Guild promote appreciation for arts and crafts, exhibits by local artists, photographers, stitchers, as well as traveling artists and students are featured during the gallery season. Emma Fleming is a student in Ellis' class and says her skills are improving as a result.
I feel really good. I feel more confident in my penmanship and my watercolor skills because I haven't really taken a formal watercolor class, so I think it's valuable.
Kenneth Craig visits the gallery to view the artwork of his friends.
Yeah, we're just here to enjoy his artwork and have a good time.
Art and craft classes for adults and children are taught throughout the year every Saturday from 1 to 4. For MediaPlex News, I'm Mehak Nahar.
In today's economy, many of us are looking for bargains, and that's where Mom to Mom comes in. Here is my report.
Well, are you tired of paying retail for something they will quickly grow out? Mom to Mom resales are a great way to control your budget when you are providing a wardrobe for children who are growing fast. Moms are trying to save cash, especially in a very tight economy.
Rather than paying full price for items, they can come to a sale like this and get clothing for their children at a fraction of the price that they would retail, which helps them save money to put other places in their household budget.
70 vendors presented their items at low prices at the Fogular Forlan venue last weekend. Thousands of kids' items were available in one-stop shopping. Clothes, toys, books at low prices. Hundreds of parents in Windsor, Essex County have the excitement of saving money for gently used items. In today's economy, things have almost doubled, and parents find difficulties to afford stuff for their children.
Coming to sales like this, the Mom to Mom sale, is a fantastic way to save money. You can get clothes for a few dollars a piece, which means you can clothe your kids, you can buy toys, you can buy books for $1 a piece. This is a fantastic way to save money in this crazy economy we're facing right now.
Most of the people attended the event with their kids to find suitable items at good prices.
And to save money in this economy, sales like the mom-to-mom sale really help out. We can find clothes for $1 a piece, things like that, and your money goes a lot farther.
Mom to Mom was created in 2003 with goal in connecting parents in Windsor, Essex County. For MediaPlex News, I am Rawat Qansoon.
Navigating a new healthcare system can be challenging for newcomers to Canada. This year's Health and Wellness Expo is helping break down barriers.
The Multicultural Council of Windsor organized a Health and Wellness Expo at Fogular Forlan last week. This expo is a joint venture of community partners for multicultural health for the past 20 years. The event is presented to promote healthy choices and to improve awareness and access to local health and social services for newcomers.
This is incredible. We have over 800 people that are coming through our doors today, and it's important because we're visiting all the different opportunities that we have in Windsor-Essex County. So sharing all the different providers that are in this region and letting everyone know about the services that we have in Windsor-Essex. So it's absolutely important, and it's crucial that we have these events to share this information.
Newcomers received information and assistance on how to file applications and be aware of resources.
It is a great event to get newcomers informed on all the different services that Windsor-Essex offers. We love being a part of it and interacting with members of our community and giving them the opportunity to learn more about what we do at BANA.
Organizers say it was a successful event and are happy to see its return after a 2-year pandemic hiatus. For MediaPlex News, I'm Rawat Qansoon.
It's time to look at our forecast, so let's go down to Zachary Balog. Zach, what does the forecast have in store for us?
Well, Rawad, there's a bit of a chill in the air this evening, but I do have some good news regarding the rest of the week. Let's take a look in your 3-day forecast. Wednesday, sunny conditions with a high of 16. Thursday, sunny conditions at a high of 19. Remembrance Day Friday, a high of 17 and cloudy, though if you plan on attending events, it will be dry. The weekend into next week welcomes single-digit highs. This is a sign that winter is not that far away. From the corner of University and Victoria, I'm weather specialist Zachary Balog. Back to you.
Thank you, Zach. Easter Seals held their telethon last weekend. Here is a story of one person who has benefited from the good work they do.
As producers sit in their seats, technicians turn on their cameras, and hosts take their position, Windsor embarks to do something special. It's the annual Easter Seals Telethon. Through donations, the telethon provides financial assistance for families of children with physical disabilities. And so far, things seem to be going quite smoothly.
Make sure you come down, you can make a donation as well, but pick up the phone and call. We need to hear those phones ring. 519-251-0007. We're going to head over and find out how we're doing on the Angel Board.
When I was first born, the doctors took me away from my mom, and they wouldn't tell her anything about what was going on. And she was 17 at the time, so she was very frightened.
And when she was first born, we weren't aware of any issues throughout my whole pregnancy. When she was born, the doctors just essentially said, call a specialist, and out the room she went.
Morgan was born with scoliosis, a condition which causes a person's spine to curve abnormally. But that wasn't the only problem.
So I had 2 surgeries on my left hand and then a surgery on my right hand.
The way her hands were positioned, she had 3 fingers on each side. So we had to bring the first digit down and rotate it so that she could oppose instead of scissor. Following that, she had a surgery on each hand, one of which she had to have a cast from fingertip to shoulder.
And going to school with that on, you could clearly see that I had one on. So kids would make fun of that.
It was hard having her come home and tell us that children were bullying her. The biggest one that sticks out in my mind was she was at a daycare, and one of the little children there was calling her an alien because she only had the 3 fingers, and it broke my heart.
Morgan is an important part of Easter Seals Ontario. During 3 different years, she's been the ambassador of the organization. But at the Easter Seals Telethon, she's been given a different but familiar role.
It's very nerve-wracking too, because you're surrounded by like 30 other people and they're all talking on the phone, and then you get a phone call and you're like, oh my gosh, and then you pick it up and you feel like you're going to say something wrong. So I usually write out like a script to read, and it kind of helps, but then I feel like I'm going to stutter or something. So it's pretty scary, but then I get through it. So.
When Morgan was 7, her mom Heather got her involved with Easter Seals Ontario, and she's been there for every surgery. As for her dad, well, her dad left Morgan and her mom high and dry when she was born. Morgan remained without a father figure in her life until she turned 12.
So he also helped me with my confidence, and he made me realize that I'm okay and I don't have to worry about what other people think of me, because he found me absolutely perfect.
My favorite quality from her, she doesn't seem to give up. Right? I've been through a lot of stuff and it just kind of dropped me, but everything she's been through is so much worse, and she just keeps going on, and not giving up has given me the ability to keep going and not give up with stuff either. So she's kind of my rock.
Morgan has defied every doctor who has said she wouldn't be able to walk or even perform small tasks like using scissors. But on the financial side, Easter Seals Ontario has lightened the load for Morgan and her family.
Going to Toronto, that's where I had all of my surgeries. So we would have to pay for a hotel and gas money, which got really expensive, especially going up every couple of months. So Easter Seals helped us afford that. So with the money that they raised from telethons, they give it to my mom so we could afford a hotel and like food and everything.
And it's not just Morgan's family. Money raised during the annual event has paid for walkers, wheelchairs, and communication devices for children in need. It also provides a once-in-a-lifetime summer camp experience for physically disabled children to experience playing basketball, sledge hockey, and even swimming. With Morgan's phone calls having wrapped up, she now heads for the back to watch her favorite moment of the telethon take place.
The end of every telethon, when they present the big check and they show how much money we were able to raise, because everybody just comes together and we all start cheering, and it's really positive and it's so nice.
Now all that's left for her is to enjoy the little moments in life. Because when you've been through it all and you've got the right people by your side, anything is possible. For MediaPlex News, I'm Sanjay Maru.
The MediaPlex is opening the doors. Come and join us on November 12. We'll buy the coffee. Speaking of open house, here is a look at the MediaPlex from the people who study and work here.
Journalism enables people to be well informed. It's documenting history. It's an extraordinary way for people to be connected with their community.
What happens in the world affects us. What happens in our community affects us. What happens in the province affects us. And we get to be the eyes and ears and tell the stories.
Meeting new people, I'm learning about things that interest me.
Convergence means the merging together of print, radio, and television, and the web, and putting all different stories into 3 or 4 different platforms.
In 21st century newsrooms, journalists have to be able to do it all.
We ask every one of our reporters to tell stories in multiple ways.
There's a different style of writing for print than there is for radio, than there is for television. And it's really important that the information gets out that is true to those platforms.
We are one of the few, if not the only, program that is actually taking students to a live broadcast and giving them that opportunity and that experience.
I find that the students that come out of St. Clair College are already at or above where some of our broadcast employees have been.
I made the the greatest decision I could 2 years ago by choosing this program because I have learned so much.
I would hands down recommend the program to someone considering it.
Based on literally hundreds of interns I've seen over the years, St. Clair students are better prepared.
I think it's that very comprehensive curriculum that we have that creates converged journalists that sets this journalism school apart.
Remembrance Day is Friday, and it is a time set aside to reflect and give thanks to those who fought, served, and sacrificed. We at the MediaPlex would like to recognize those who went before us. Thanks for tuning in. I am Rawat Tansoon, and you've been watching MediaPlex News now.
MediaPlex News Now is a production of the St. Clair College Journalism Program.
It's always been my passion to be part of a news team. I love the adrenaline rush of being there when news is breaking. I wanted to learn how to get the story and know how to present it on radio, in print, on television, or the web. I wanted to learn from the best, and I did at St. Clair College.